So we got her just sitting in there.
Oh, okay.
Just a quick rundown. So she gave us a credit app. She had trouble filling out her information. Signed on the back. Her name's Emily. Signed it with a second E in the name. Came in saying she wanted
Like at the beginning?
Yeah. No, it's Emily, and then instead of just L-Y, E-L-Y. And that's not how her name is on the license. She just has like a temp license. She said she wanted a $450 payment. Wasn't sure if she'd get approved. Showed her a $1,200 payment. She signed right away. We looked up the address. It doesn't line up. She says she's in Cincinnati. Works at Cleveland Clinic. Nothing. She got dropped off. She said didn't call in about the car, and it's a Range Rover. So
you guys have her license?
I have the temp license in there.
Yeah.
How's it going, man?
Hi.
Here's the license. Here's the app. So she signed.
Huh.
Obviously, that doesn't really match that.
And then she signed it again here with the second E.
Then we asked her just simple questions about her credit report, like previous auto loan. She didn't know she had one or not. This is a $54,000 loan she had before, and she's from there. She says she works at the Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland. It's a 216. And then look where she got this at, right over in Ellett.
Where's Mason? That's Cincinnati?
Yeah, downtown Cincinnati.
Where's she saying she's living now?
She says she's lived here for 3 years and 3 months. But you can see here, she almost screwed up that.
Was she looking at her license when she's filling this out at all? Or?
So my sales guy, when you guys want to grab this?
There.
Hello.
Can you guess why I'm here today?
Why?
Can you guess? You don't, no idea? Okay.
Is my ID?
Yeah. Folks, they're telling me, and you can tell me this is true or not. Where do you live right now? And look at this. Where do you live?
I live on 39.
In Cleveland?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a real ID on you?
No, not right now.
No? It's not yours?
Not at the moment. I don't have my ID, but I do have my driver's license.
What's your name?
Lala.
Okay. Lala. Stand up, put your hands behind your back. So you know on that piece of paper that you made up? Mm-hmm. You know how it says?
I didn't.
Read that. Did you read it about the forgery part?
Yes.
Okay. And it says there. You have anything on you that's illegal?
No.
Anything sharp, dangerous?
No.
Drugs?
Nope.
Weapons or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Anything else besides your phone?
Nope.
No? Okay. All right, I'll be right back in, if you don't mind. Someone wouldn't mind waiting around. I know you guys are closing and looking to go home or anything like that. All right. We're going to walk right out these doors here. You stand right by this front tire for me. Listen, you got the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him or her present with you while you're being questioned. You understand all those rights that I read to you?
Yes.
Okay. Why are you out here with that fake license?
It wasn't even my idea, but somebody did some dumb shit.
So whose idea was it? What were they trying to do?
I guess they were trying to get a car down and just keep it or whatever, but I told them I don't think that's a good idea because, you know what I'm saying, this is me taking a big ass risk. On top of that, this is my ID, you know what I'm saying? This is my stuff. On top of that, I'm still young. So when I had came in here, they had said.
Copy. So you were told what?
That'd be an 18-year-old female.
They told me to come. They had drove me all the way down here. Gave me that, gave me that, and told me just go in there and say that you want a car down for for $0.
Okay. Well, how'd you think that was a good idea? Or even going to work?
Exactly. Well, I have a job, but I raised my grandma. Like, I literally take care of her. This is irritating.
So you knew that you're coming in here with a fake ID to try to buy a car.
Not
really?
buy it.
Not buy it, then what?
I wasn't going to
Leasing?
buy it. It was $0 down. I was going to try to see if I was going to get approved for it. So.
Okay. And you're going to try to get approved for it, and if you got approved, then what?
Nothing.
You're going to walk out the door?
I was just
Or you're going to try to get the car?
No, I couldn't. I can't drive the car. I ain't driving it, but I was gonna see if I could get approved. Then I was gonna come back, next day or something. Well, whatever they wanted to do. But I was just trying to see if I could get approved for a car.
Okay. Well, tell me about these insurance documents. Huh?
They sent that to me so I could show you.
They sent it to you? Okay, so you didn't come up with them yourself? Was it the same person that TAFE4 person sent you these things?
My phone, I can show you.
Okay.
All the messages.
They're up in Cleveland now? This TAFE person? Or do you hang out with them in person at all?
Well, this is actually my second time meeting them. They shouldn't be that far, not too far from here, because they the ones who dropped me off and was waiting. So.
Was it the TAFE guy that dropped you off? He dropped you off?
Yes.
Were you supposed to call him to come pick you up?
Well, it was when I came out. They supposed to be waiting right there where they dropped me off at. But they supposed to.
They probably saw me and took off. I bet
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. But
what kind of car they got?
it was a Nissan.
What color?
Gray Nissan. And that when I first pulled up, I was sitting over there.
They were sitting over there. You could see them.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, they probably took off. That'd be dumb to hang out. Okay.
This is so stupid. Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any way I could show you the text messages or like his number or anything?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna pay.
Yeah. What are you trying to say?
Like, I ain't trying to get put down for this. I got a life. I got work.
But you did.
But I'm not the one who made the thing.
You gotta be careful with what you do. You're 18 now. You got some real consequences.
Do you know how long I'm gonna be in there?
No, I do not know.
Could you call my mom for me?
You'll be able to do that in here, tonight.
Could I just show you the guy's face or anything?
I don't need to see that at the moment.
This is so stupid. Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any way I could show you the text messages or like his number or anything?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna pay.
Yeah. What are you trying to say?
Like, I ain't trying to get put down for this. I got a life. I got work.
But you did.
But I'm not the one who made the thing.
You gotta be careful with what you do. You're 18 now. You got some real consequences.
Do you know how long I'm gonna be in there?
No, I do not know.
Could you call my mom for me?
You'll be able to do that in here, tonight.
Could I just show you the guy's face or anything?
I don't need to see that at the moment.
Okay.
This is the moment most people assume confusion will protect them. Legally, it doesn't. The first real legal shift in this encounter happens before officers ever speak to her. Dealership staff notice inconsistencies that aren't minor paperwork mistakes, but structural problems with identity itself. The credit application doesn't line up with the temporary license. The name is signed inconsistently. The address doesn't match existing records. The employment claims don't align with anything verifiable. None of these issues stand alone. Taken together, they form articulable suspicion that this transaction may be fraudulent, not just incomplete. The turning point comes when staff realize she isn't struggling with loan terms, but with her own personal information. She can't reliably confirm prior auto loans that clearly appear on her credit report. She hesitates on basic identity details. Staff note that she needs to visually reference information that most applicants know without assistance. That matters legally because forgery and false identification are crimes of representation. The law doesn't require the transaction to succeed. It requires proof that false information was knowingly presented as real. When officers review the temporary license, another legal hinge appears. The document's origin doesn't match the residence she claims. The photo doesn't clearly resemble her. The signature discrepancy becomes meaningful. Signatures aren't decoration. They're affirmations of identity. Signing the same name two different ways on official documents is evidence of unreliability, not nervousness. The encounter remains voluntary until officers directly engage her. But once the officer asks basic questions, where she lives, whether she has real identification, what her name is, the legal environment begins to narrow. Her answers aren't just incomplete, they conflict. She gives different names. She can't produce valid identification. She claims to have a driver's license but can't present it. At that point, the encounter is no longer about verification. It's about whether false identification is actively being used. The decisive moment comes when the officer states plainly that the ID is not hers. That statement isn't rhetorical. It reflects an assessment grounded in discrepancies already documented by the dealership. Once that conclusion is reached, the encounter shifts from inquiry to enforcement. The instruction to stand up and place her hands behind her back is an escalation. It's the procedural response to probable cause that a felony offense, false identification, or forgery has occurred. The reading of rights marks a permanent legal shift. Miranda isn't ready to gather background information. It's read because statements are now potentially incriminating. From that point on, every response carries evidentiary weight. When the officer asks why she's there with a fake license, the analysis is no longer speculative. It centers on knowledge and participation. She doesn't deny the license is fake. She explains how she got it and who gave it to her. That admission matters. Knowledge is an element. Possession alone isn't enough. Awareness completes the offense. This resolves the first legal question: did officers have sufficient grounds to detain and arrest her? Based on inconsistent identity information, use of a false document, and her own acknowledgement of its nature, the answer is yes. But resolving that question opens a more serious one. Once she begins explaining how and why the fake identification was used, she stops defending herself and starts building a record. The most serious consequences haven't formed yet, but the foundation is already set. This is the moment she believes intent can undo conduct. Legally, it can't. When she explains that others instructed her to enter the dealership with the fake ID, the analysis expands beyond possession into participation. She tries to distance herself by saying it wasn't her idea, but the law doesn't require authorship. It requires knowing how to use it. Walking into a dealership, presenting false identification, and initiating a credit application satisfies that requirement regardless of who suggested it. The officer's questioning stays narrow and deliberate. He doesn't argue. He tests. When she says she wasn't trying to buy the vehicle only to see if she'd be approved, she unintentionally confirms the exposure. Credit approval isn't neutral. Applying for financing with false identification is itself fraudulent. The distinction she thinks matters doesn't exist legally. Approval is the gateway to obligation. Attempting to obtain it under false pretenses completes the offense. A critical legal turn occurs when she acknowledges reading parts of the document that explicitly warn against false information. That admission eliminates plausible ignorance. Once someone confirms awareness of a warning, later claims of misunderstanding lose force. This isn't a judgment error, it's a conscious decision to proceed despite notice. Her repeated references to age and inexperience don't change the analysis. At 18, she's legally competent. The officer states this plainly, not as moral commentary but as legal reality. Juvenile standards no longer apply. Consequences aren't deferred. The law treats her actions as adult conduct because the statute requires it. When she admits knowing who created the fake ID, having contact information, and possessing digital evidence, the scope broadens again. This isn't limited to possession anymore. It now includes facilitation. The officer doesn't need to charge that immediately. What matters is that her statements establish a network of involvement. Her willingness to talk doesn't reduce exposure. Cooperation isn't immunity. Each detail fixes her role more clearly. Describing being driven to the dealership, being given documents, and being told what to say removes ambiguity about intent. Courts assess credibility through consistency. Her story grows, but the contradictions remain. This resolves the second legal question. Was her conduct accidental or deliberate? Based on her own statements, it was deliberate, but that resolution exposes a deeper risk. Once false documents are knowingly used in a financial transaction, the charge becomes provable. Everything she says after that can only define the edges of her exposure. This is the moment silence would have helped. Instead, she keeps talking. Once felony consequences are explained, speech stops being explanatory and becomes evidentiary. Each justification becomes a fixed statement that can be tested against documents, surveillance, and third-party accounts. The discussion about insurance documents reveals another layer. When officers learn proof of insurance was also generated externally and shown from a phone, a pattern emerges. This isn't one false document. It's a collection of representations designed to appear legitimate. Pattern matters. Isolated errors can be explained. Repeated fabrication cannot. When she explains that the people who brought her likely fled, it reinforces an inference. Participants in fraud often avoid proximity once law enforcement arrives. Whether she expected that doesn't matter. The behavior aligns with evasion. Courts focus on conduct, not surprise. Her references to responsibility and future plans don't intersect with statutory elements. The officer's response stays firm but restrained. Adulthood carries legal weight. Responsibility doesn't cancel accountability. This isn't escalation, it's a clarification. The request to call her mother highlights another misconception. Custody doesn't pause for reassurance. Procedure follows sequence, not sympathy. The officer explains that calls come later. The transition from investigation to detention is complete. Control has shifted. This resolves the third legal question. Did cooperation reduce her exposure? Legally, no. It clarified it. Her admissions removed doubt. What remains is procedure. The outcome confirms why early decisions matter more than later explanations. She's charged with forgery and false identification. Those charges aren't based on tone, age, or stress. They're based on documented conduct and recorded admissions. The case rests on sequence, not speculation. What many viewers notice is anxiety. What courts examine is representation. The law doesn't punish nervousness. It punishes presenting false identity for financial gain. That line was crossed before officers arrived. The takeaway is procedural, not emotional. Using false identification in a financial setting doesn't require success. Attempt is enough. Knowledge completes the offense. Silence preserves uncertainty. Explanation often resolves it against the speaker. Cases like this reveal a pattern most people miss. The most damaging legal moments are rarely loud. They happen quietly, on paper, before anyone realizes consequences have already attached.